everyone. As always, my name is Dulcinea, and honored to be bringing you another yoga practice. You may have noticed that the last handful of weeks I've been doing a lot of extended practices and longer flows, and while we all love those, we don't always have time for that. So this week I'm focusing on shorter classes. So the last class that I just posted is a 20-minute Agni practice or a fire practice. And this one is going to be more of a Nectar practice. So fire, right? That's where we really engage the muscles a lot and we build up a good sweat. You might see that I'm still sweaty from it even. And the Nectar is more the time where we pause and we slow down. We nourish the body. We help the body heal. It's not quite a yin practice. You're not just a puddle on the floor. There's still some activation and a little bit of muscle work. But for the most part, this is really a more nourishing, hip opening, full body, just kind of refreshing practice. So I won't be cueing for any props because we're trying to keep it short, but know that you can always go grab your blocks or your strap or whatever it is you need in the moment, okay? And we're gonna start on our back today, actually. You also may notice that there's no music playing. If you'd like to put on some music, you can feel free. But today I'm going to be taking a little bit more of a traditional approach in the way of listening to my breath. So you can join me on your back as you're ready. And we're going to be starting with something a little different. And I learned about this body movement, you could call it, from my teacher, Sienna Sherman. And in fact, I should tell you a little more about this before we do it. So it's called pendiculation. And pendiculation is something that animals do in nature a lot, and it's something that we do a lot too, but we're not as aware of. So when you first wake up in the morning and you have that first big yawn, right? That big yawn, that big stretch, it's like the best feeling in the world, right? When you're just stretching your bones out after a big, long, juicy sleep. It's like that, and what it's doing is you're stretching out against the force of like muscle contraction. That's why the stretch feels so good, and it feels so much better than just a loose stretch. You see, when we're trying to get effective length in the body, we also need to have effective contraction and effective strength, or the stretch, not only is it less safe, but it just won't do as much for us. So we're going to be kind of embodying this idea of pendiculation on our backs. Another great way to think about it is if you have a pet cat, or if you've ever seen a cat wake up from their nap and see the big stretch they do, it's so big, and then they just collapse on the ground, right? We really exert ourselves, we have this full stretch, and it allows our body to fully rest. And it allows the fascia in our body, the coating, the webbing inside that covers all of our muscles and everything, it allows that to reset and to feel much longer and much healthier. So, like I said, we'll begin on our back, enough blabbing. There's not really one right way to move your body through this. So, just imagine you're waking up in the morning, engage your shoulders back, and create some muscle contraction in the arms and the legs, and then just push out against it in any way that feels good. Maybe take a few really big stretches, like good morning, and then let your body collapse and just feel how your body is a little more willing to surrender after that. We'll do it again as you're ready. Stretch it out. Really contract, so plug the shoulders back, open the fingers wide, engage your muscles, and push out against that contraction for a big stretch. And as you're ready, you can just let your body collapse. And feel the collapse fully within you. We'll do one more round of pendiculation, any way you like. Contract and push out against the contraction. It's like a voluntary shortening of the muscles, and then you're pushing out against that shortening to lengthen. And collapse wherever you are. And slowly as you're ready, you can bend your knees. Take your hands behind your thighs. You can rock and roll gently on the spine, a little massage. Up to a comfortable seat. Just for a few little spinal movements. Bring your hands to your thighs. And bring your heart forward as you inhale. And exhale, round the spine. Inhale, extend. Exhale, flex. Just 2 more like this. And then we'll do a little circular movement, a little circumduction of the spine to the right. And to the left. Do a few lateral side bends. Bring your right hand down, left arm over, inhale. And switch. Just slowly feeling into your side body. And we can use that idea of pendiculation in all of our stretches, right? If you contract your shoulder back and then push out against it, you'll get a much deeper stretch and a much healthier stretch too. Take a few twists. Right hand to left thigh, gaze over left shoulder. Center and switch. Once more each side. And after that, we'll just do a little lateral side to side. Maybe a little neck twist here and there. Okay. Now please join me in a wide knee child's pose. So take your knees nice and wide, big toes to touch, draw a low belly in. And slowly sink your hips back, but crawl your fingertips forward. Stay high on your fingertips for this child's pose. It's going to be a little more active. Lift the head of the arm bones up. And we're going to make these little spinal waves. You might want to watch me. I'm going to inhale to lift up and exhale to come down. Just like that. Sort of like the spinal waves we do in plank, but a lot more gentle, a lot more subtle, and more focusing on that mid-upward back. Just slowly ride the wave of your breath with your spine. Feels really good. Just be moving like this for a few more breaths. Until we eventually choose some stillness. Let your heart melt. You can bring your arms forward or back, your choice. And just sink into the earth. Let your hips and your inner thighs slowly open. Let your spine lengthen bit by bit, little by little. Send big, long breaths up and down your whole spine here, filling up your low back, wide, buoyant. And exhaling to root your hips back even further. One more breath in and out. And then slowly, slowly, slowly inhale, roll forward to hands and knees. And we're going to tuck our toes, plant our hands, spread our fingers very wide, grip the earth, and keep your knees bent as you lift your hips up for tiger dog. And tiger dog is just like down dog, except your feet are a little wider, your knees are more bent, and this helps you really spin your inner thighs back, widen through the low back, widen through the hips, the inner thighs. Be very primal with it, right? We're really gripping them out with our toes and our fingers. We're having a strong foundation to support this opening. You can maybe pulse between straight knees and bent knees as you wish. Or just keep here in this tiger dog, sending your tail higher to the sky. Take a breath in. Then exhale, turn your head to the right, underneath your right shoulder. Center and exhale to the left. Back through center. You can always bring your knees down for this transition if you need to keep it more nourishing. Or you can just step the left foot outside the left hand and then take the right knee down. Inhale, open your heart here in this low lunge. Keep it kind of wide though, right? Keep your left toes pointing out to the left slightly. Gives you more inner thigh space. Hold here for a moment. Maybe come up really high on fingertips, maybe even on blocks if you have them. Keep spinning your shoulders back and exposing your heart. And then slowly we're going to straighten the left leg to any degree, flex the toes up for this little wide half split. Breathe into the back of your left leg. And slowly come back forward. Open your heart here in this lunge shape. Maybe keep your right fingertips down and lift the left arm up for a little twist. Exhale, twist deeper. Maybe bring the hand behind the head to open your heart up in your twist. And bring the left hand down. Pick up the back knee or keep it down to transition back to tiger dog. Take your choice. Do what's good for your body's nourishment today. Tiger dog. Maybe a few pulses between bent legs and straighter legs. Or maybe just find stillness. We'll do second side. So bring the right leg forward. Anyway. Just make sure the right toes are pointing out on a diagonal slightly. And peel your heart open in this low lunge, this wider low lunge variation. And continue to roll the head of the arm bones back. It's so easy to let them internally rotate. Let's externally rotate the shoulders more. With your breath, widen the space between your collarbones. And slowly exhale to straighten through the right leg to any degree for this split, or half split rather. With a wide angle can make it a lot more accessible. And slowly come back forward. You could just stay here in this lunge, or you could keep the left fingertips down, bring the right arm up and make it a twist. Maybe bring the right palm behind the head to open your heart in the twist too. Tone the low belly, right? This is a nourishing practice, but we can still engage. Bring it up, bring it down, and join me back in a wide knee child's pose. Walk your left hand to the left side of your mat and your right hand on top. And then press back through your right hip. Breathing big breaths to the right side body. Through center. And we'll take the right hand off to the right, left hand on top. Sink back through the left hip. As you breathe more length into your left side body. Deep, slow, nourishing breaths. Slowly come back through center. And we'll come back up And simply step your left foot forward anyway. It doesn't have to be fancy. Point your left toes out again on that diagonal. And we can repeat that twisted lunge with the left arm up. Opening up like this is great. Or if you're a fan of twisted monkey, you can join me there, which would mean your right hand is down or your right forearm is down. I'm going to start on the hand for more space. Push onto your thigh with your left hand and twist to the left. Maybe pick up the back foot and grab the ankle with your left hand. The grab isn't essential though. This twist and gazing over is just as good. And breathe into your right quadriceps, your right hip flexors, your psoas, the belly of the thigh. Expand it with every inhale. Spin your heart open. And we'll slowly release the foot. Reach your arms forward. Briefly, very briefly, just about one breath, straighten that left leg. Inhale. And exhale, rebend. Hands come down. Step back and simply switch sides. Step your right foot forward on that diagonal. And remember, your left hand can stay down or you can come onto the forearm. You can stay here in this open twist. Or maybe take your right hand to the right thigh and resist it away from you as you twist and gaze over the right shoulder. This is really a full body pose. We're rinsing out the spine, we're opening the heart, rinsing out the belly, opening the hip flexors. Maybe you'll grab the back foot, maybe you won't. Who cares? Do what feels good. There's nothing to prove in our yoga practice. It's really just a practice of getting to know ourselves and grow ourselves. Keep the front ribs drawing in, especially if you're holding that back foot. Don't let your ribs splay way open, right? That kind of makes us dump into the low back. We're going to draw them in and breathe through the back of the heart. One more breath here. And then we'll slowly release. Bring your hands down. And we'll straighten the right leg just for one breath in. And exhale, come back forward. Step back to hands and knees. Maybe on fingertips perhaps, not required though. Inhale, open your heart, cow. Exhale, round your spine, really puff up through cat here. And then we're going to slowly melt our hearts to the earth. Anahata Asana, heart chakra pose. Walk your hands ahead of you. You could really grip the earth with your fingertips. It'll help you. And rather than letting your shoulders just collapse here, which a lot of people do, bring your head of the arm bones up a little bit and resist. And then melt the space between your shoulder blades down more. Rather than melting through the shoulder joint, we're melting through the muscles in the back of the heart, between the shoulder blades. Keep pulling the front ribs in as you lower. Maybe your forehead to the ground or a block. Or maybe your chin comes down. But please don't force that. If you have any tension in your neck, just bring your head to the ground. And we'll just hold here and breathe and allow the magic element of time to do its work on our back, on our heart. The fuller your breaths into the back of your heart space, the more release you'll feel on the exhale. Allow your heart to surrender to the earth. One more breath here. And very, very slowly we're going to come back up. And walk back to our shins. Briefly, left hand comes to right thigh, gaze back. And switch, right hand to left thigh, gaze back. Once more. Each side. And then bring your fingertips back. Press into your fingertips. You could just stay right here on the ground, or you can lift up your hips. For this big heart opening. Exhale, slowly lower down. And bring your left leg forward as if you were going to enter pigeon pose, but we're not quite. So bend the knee, flex the left toes, and then bring the right knee in towards the left foot, kind of like this. It's like 2 right angles to the legs. Flex the toes. I'm just going to windshield wiper here a little bit. Be here, bring your fingertips down, and inhale, open your heart. You can hinge down if you want more of a hip stretch, but if up here is enough, just stay here. Come up. You can use your hands or not, just to swivel to the back. So your left knee is in your right foot now. Fingertips come down, inhale, open. Exhale, lower if you wish. Keep flexing your toes. Rise up with a liquid spine, and we'll switch again. Be in your breath, be in your time. And we'll come to center for a final pose before our mini Savasana, which is Agni, fire log. So bring your left leg down, also known as double pigeon. Okay, so bring your left leg down at that right angle. Please flex both sets of toes. Very important to protect your knee. Move the inner thigh and booty flesh out from under you. And then take your right ankle over your left knee. Right knee should be relatively over the left ankle. Try to stay centered through the sitting bones here. We're only going to hold maybe 5 breaths per side. You can close your eyes and drop in if you wish. You could fold forward or stay upright. It's truly your choice. Just trying to open up the hips a little bit. The end of your 5th breath, know that you can stay as long as you'd like, but if you're trying to make this a shorter practice today like I am, we can switch sides now by gently taking the right leg off, placing it on the ground, and bringing the left ankle over the right knee, and yeah, knees and ankles line up, is what I'm trying to say. Okay. Flex the toes as always. You can notice any asymmetry in the body. This side feels more open for me today, so I might bend forward a little more. Take your choice for 5 juicy, centered breaths. At the end of 5 breaths, you can choose to stay or continue in the flow with us. You can join me in a comfortable seat or lie on your back for closing. That is your choice. I'm just going to do maybe about a minute of gentle pranayama breathing practice to close today. You can join me in the breathing or simply lay in Savasana and absorb. Do a little bit of nadi shodhana pranayama. So you'll bring your thumb and your ring finger. Yeah, so so take your palm, take your index finger and your middle finger to your palm. Your pinky can just kind of hang out or come in, your choice. And your right finger will be in charge of your right nostril, and your right ring finger will be in charge of your left nostril. So yeah, right thumb, right nostril, ring finger, left nostril. So for Nadi Shodhana, what we're gonna do is we're gonna seal one nostril and inhale through the other. And then we're gonna switch nostrils and exhale out the other. So it looks like this. And so on. I'll talk you through it, okay? So seal your right nostril. Inhale through the left. Hold your breath in. Seal your left. Open the right. Exhale right. Inhale right. Seal right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Seal. Exhale right. Inhale right. Switch. Exhale left. Inhale left. Switch. Exhale right. Inhale right. Switch. Exhale left. Inhale left. Switch. Exhale right. Inhale right. Switch. Exhale left. One more round. Inhale left. Switch. Exhale right. Inhale right. Switch. Exhale left. Slowly bring your right hand to your lap and keep your eyes closed. Simply notice the effect that pranayamas had on your mind, on your thoughts, on your quality of breath. Nadi Shodhana is a deeply, deeply restorative breathing practice. Anytime you feel out of balance or possibly a little overwhelmed or stressed out, you can return to this. And hopefully it brings you to a more centered place. I'm going to be quiet for about 30 seconds of either seated meditation or mini Savasana. You can take your choice here, and I'll let you know when it's time to come out. Or stay here as long as you need or as long as you have time for, because I always recommend a longer Shavasana. However, as we know, this practice is meant to be short and sweet. So if you wish to close with me, you can bring your hands to Anjali Mudra at heart center. Take this moment and feel real gratitude for this practice, for your body, for your ability to be embodied. What a gift. Our body is a gift, and it needs nourishment just as much as it needs strengthening. So thank you so much for practicing with me today. I give great deep honor to this path and practice, my teachers and my students of yoga, with a namaste.